Hi everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to the physioBRAIN channel. This is Professor Adriano, and today we're going to talk about why prevention is the best way to avoid the onset of dementia. Stay with me and don't miss these tips. And as you already know, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share it with anyone you think needs to know this information. So everyone, in the last two videos, we talked about risk factors associated with the onset of dementia, right? We listed 12 modifiable risk factors that can increase the likelihood of you developing dementia, of a person developing some type of dementia, okay? Dementias are those cognitive changes that lead to impairment of functions, daily living activities, and memory, right? Among them, the most well-known is Alzheimer's disease, which has a significant impact on people's lives and their functionality, right? And why are we talking about prevention? Because prevention is the best strategy that science has shown so that we don't develop Alzheimer's disease or other types of dementia, okay? Obviously, if we prevent it, the person won't develop it, or we will extend the period during which they have more preserved cognitive functions, right? So what are we going to do? We will either prevent it from appearing, or it will take much longer to show up. And sometimes the person, for example, might end up passing away before having any signs or the most significant signs of dementia. Okay, so what do we want? We want people not to develop it or to prolong their maximum possible quality of life for as long as possible for people, for the population. Okay, and what did the specialists in this consensus, in this 2020 article, bring to us about prevention? In fact, a term they use is that prevention should be aggressive. It should be carried out on a broad scale, on a large scale, worldwide, right, in all countries, so that we can prevent dementias, okay? The onset of dementias, which are neurodegenerative diseases, and as we mentioned, lead to significant consequences, okay? So what should be done in terms of prevention? Specifically, address, right, tackle, right, seek treatment for those risk factors. So for example, we mentioned that high blood pressure is an important risk factor. So groups that are more likely to develop high blood pressure should have their hypertension treated so that it can be controlled, right? People who are obese, mentioned that obesity is a risk factor, so we need to address obesity through strategies like physical exercise, nutrition, medication, and surgery when indicated. Diabetes is also a risk factor. So if we manage diabetes well, we can keep these risk factors under control, okay? Excessive alcohol consumption is a risk factor, so reducing excessive alcohol intake is important. Smoking tobacco use is a risk factor, so reducing or, if possible, quitting tobacco use is recommended, right? Tobacco use in the population. So strategies to prevent these risk factors will help, will make things easier, will improve people's quality of life, because they've improved those aspects, right? Because obesity itself is already a disease and it causes various consequences, not just dementia. So if you address that risk factor, if you address that modifiable factor, you will be preventing a neurodegenerative problem down the line, and you will reduce the likelihood of developing dementia, okay? So that's the main idea behind prevention. You work with the at-risk groups who already have this factor, right? Which can predispose a person to develop it. You control these risk factors, and you help the person reduce the likelihood of developing dementia in the future. And in the next videos, we're going to talk individually about each risk factor. We'll discuss each one and how to have strategies to prevent and improve each of them, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, write them in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because you'll be helping me to keep bringing this material and continue providing more health information to the public, all right? Take care, and I'll see you in the next videos.